And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Zac Bruney Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head football coach Zac Bruney. And Zach, week 0 is here. First game coming up here on Thursday. Talk about what it's going to be like to go out there and actually get to hit a guy in another jersey.
Well, I think our guys are ready for that. Preseason, banging on each other for 3+ weeks of preparation, and then you're into game week now. So a little bit of different type of intensity and bounce in your step when you have an opponent to get ready for, and a game is closing in on game week. So, our guys are excited. We're excited as coaches to see our guys go out and perform. Still got, 3 more days of preparation to put in for it, and but new opponent, quality conference, and they have some good players coming back, as do we. So it should be a really good matchup Thursday night.
And over the last month, you guys have been working through training camp. Talk about camp and kind of how it went for you guys.
Well, it was good. I mean, we got a lot done. Can be long days, and the weeks can drag a little bit as far as just the monotony of the day-to-day. But our guys handled it well. Just like anything else throughout a season and throughout a training camp, where the physicality of the sport, can kind of take a toll on your body a little bit. We got some guys banged up, but we're getting healthier coming out of camp. We got some guys that are, I think, coming off a few injuries that are going to be okay and ready to go. But the guys that have gotten a lot of reps and the depth, I think, has been built the right way. We have some young guys that have, flashed and shown that they could, be ready here in a relatively short amount of time. So camp was solid. I thought our team handled it well. 3 weeks, and then, class is getting started now, so there's another adjustment. And then you jump right into a game week and you play, pretty much in that first week of class. So, but I'm proud of our guys for the work that we put in, and our coaches too, because, camp's a long, arduous process, and they did a really good job. So we're excited to get into game week and have the preparation to have an opponent in front of us Thursday night.
And we've talked about it through the preseason. You kind of have a mixed bag of some veterans coming back, some new guys stepping up. Talk about how important it's going to be for those veterans and those position groups to kind of take the lead and show the young guys how to go.
Well, we got kind of use this quote a lot of times with our team and with individuals. A players got to get A's. So the most veteran guys in the system, the most veteran guys to the college football game, and the guys that have the most experience from a game rep standpoint, we have quite a few of those guys. We have some 5th-year guys. We have a good number of 4th-year guys, redshirt juniors and seniors. So the A players, the guys that have been leaders for us over 1, 2, even 3 seasons, they have to play like A players should. And then the guys that are kind of new to the game scenarios, guys that have had practice and a lot of repetitions, they just, they have to just play to the level of their training. There isn't really any rising to an occasion. It's just playing at the level that they've been practicing at, training at, lifting at, running at, preparing at, watching film. So, we have a veteran team. I think they have a veteran team as far as just their age. Looking at it at our depth chart compared to their depth chart, there's a lot of 3rd, 4th, and 5th-year guys on both rosters in the 2 deep. So there's experienced college football players across the board for both teams, and it'll just be who goes out and executes and plays at a high level and blocks and tackles the best and takes care of the football and wins the situations that'll have the most success.
And you mentioned some of the young guys who've been flashing over these couple of weeks of camp. Anybody who stood out who we might see make an impact or has kind of put their names up farther up the depth chart?
Well, the freshman class as a whole, and I talked to him a little bit last night about this after practice. There's a really it's deep and it's talented in comparison to other years. It's a really good group, and they just have to keep growing in this process, maturing in the college football process. Right? They handled camp relatively well. There's quite a few of them that had very good scrimmages. You know what I mean? They produced on the field. Their production, their statistical production in our scrimmage scenarios in the preseason went well. I think both the offense and defensive lines have guys on those units in that class that could help us. But there's redshirt freshmen and redshirt sophomores as well, second and third year guys that we're getting ready to kind of break into lineups, help us on special teams. So across the board, I'm pleased with our younger group, the true freshmen, the redshirt freshmen, and then some of those third-year guys as well who are now getting more opportunities, to crack lineups.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head football coach Zac Bruney. And Zac, this year you get 3 non-conference games against 3 different NCAA Division II opponents. Talk about those 3 games as a whole and kind of how they're going to help you get ready for MEC play.
Well, they're good teams from good leagues, and they're regionally, kind of what you want in a non-conference schedule as far as just, the Division II breakdown is, you're in super regions. Our conference is affiliated with the PSAC, the CIAA, and the Northeast 10 Conference. That makes up our region, Super Region 1. The GMAC, who was in our region the last couple of years, they're actually moved over region, but they're still considered regional opponents, and those are 2 of our opponents in Walsh and Lake Erie. The PSAC, top to bottom, provides a very talented and deep conference. So anytime you open up with a PSAC opponent like we have in the past with Seton Hill, we played them 3 times in an opener. Clarion being the newest opponent from that standpoint in that conference, they're going to have good players and they're going to be well coached. The same with Walsh. We had a really good game with them last year up there at their place, and we were fortunate enough to get a close win. And then Lake Erie being a newer opponent like Clarion, well coached in the fact that their head coach used to coach on our staff, Coach Price. So we're focused on Clarion now, but playing 3 non-league games kind of gives your guys opportunities to see opponents that they haven't seen in the past on film. And but there is good crossover with our league and the GMAC and the PSAC to where we've seen some of these teams on tape prior to playing them. We've seen Clarion on tape prior to playing them in their time that they played Mercyhurst and also Seton Hill when we played against those 2 opponents in non-conference before. And we played Walsh in a return game, and Lake Erie that is kind of hoping to recharge and renovate their program a little bit with Coach Price and his staff in their second year. They're going to be much improved.
And talk a little bit about the Golden Eagles and some of the challenges they're going to present this week.
Well, they have a veteran front on both sides of the ball. Their offensive line is strong. They have an older, deeper unit up front. They return a 5th-year starting quarterback who's a dynamic player, can run and throw. He's a really good athlete. So we'll have to, do our best to kind of contain him, from making plays. They got some good backs. They got some transfers, kind of like everybody across the Division II world. And college football nowadays, you can add some transfers rather quickly to the mix. So they're a dangerous opponent. They're a dangerous offense because their quarterback can really go. And then defensively, their front 6. All 5 linebackers. They had a starting linebacker who got injured last year, week 1, is a really good player. He's back. They have another linebacker that was an all-conference player for him last year. And then the guys that kind of played in place for the guy that had got injured, they're all back. And then their defensive front, they returned 3 or 4 starters on their defensive front, including an all-conference player up front. So their front 6 is really good. And in the back end, they got some really athletic guys that can run in the secondary. Kind of similar to us, though. They're breaking in some new skill guys at both receiver and DB. Some guys that have played but haven't been full-time starters yet, but have experience. And then, of course, they got some new pieces and added some guys through the transfer portal. So overall, they're a good opponent, and they're kind of, they would look similar to us on paper as far as their age and experience.
And finally, talk about some of your goals for your team here in Week 0 as you guys get 2025 kicked off.
Well, we want to win each day. We want to be really good in our preparation, and through fall camp, we have had good days, and we've strung together some consistency. Our accountability has been good. We're holding each other accountable. I think we have a good team of teammates led by the older guys. And then, we just elected 4 captains, peer elected captains. Angel Figueroa is a 2-year captain now. Keenan Johnson, 5th-year player, first-time captain. Stevie Mitchell, 5th-year player, first-time captain. And then Landon Lutz, a 4th-year player, moving into the role of being a starting quarterback for us. So we have strong leadership from the players led by those captains. And then goal-wise, you just want to see daily improvement. We want to prepare the right way through these next 3 days to get ready, and then however it gets done, you want to win. And the final score really doesn't matter as long as you have one more point than the opponent. However that gets accomplished. Now, of course, we want to play well in all 3 phases. Special teams will be very, very important, like it always is. And Coach Smith is doing a really good job preparing our special teams units to get ready. Coach Gaiman on defense, coordinating the defense. Coach McNeely and the offensive staff. Coach Emmerich, Coach London, getting the offense ready. So preparation is going how we want it to. It's consistent, and we're just priming ourselves for Thursday night.
Thanks, Zach. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zac Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.